Let me speak directly to you guys for about 2 seconds. I finished reading chapter 33 of Project Horizons, and I knew about this scene coming up. I'm going to be getting into spoilers, guys, so please bear with me. I already knew about this scene coming up when I got to chapter 33. A lot of people spoiled the fact that in chapter 33, people were telling me that chapter, Blackjack gets raped. And a lot of people tell me that the scene is very distasteful, it's very crude and descriptive, and other stuff like that. And yeah, I'm willing to agree on that front that it is very crude, descriptive, and otherwise. I hate to say it, but in many cases, K-Cat never went this far with her stories. She implied it, yes, but I think implying something is a lot worse than actually showing it, because it's easier to show something and say be afraid of it than to tell about something and be afraid of it. Because when you see it and you're told be afraid of it or something like that, you just don't really know how to react. But when it's implied and you're afraid of it, then it works. A good example of this is Silent Hill 2, where you knew something was wrong with this town, but you didn't know what it was. It was implied that it was something supernatural and stuff like that. So, since it was implied, you really didn't know what to expect. That's where K-Cat worked with her story. She implied the ideas of rape and stuff like that in the story, and I kind of like that in many cases. And she did come close to many aspects of adding that stuff of rape and stuff like that to the main character, Little Pip, where she almost got raped by this guy, I think Dath, and she almost got raped by this weird monster. See, implementation is a lot stronger than actually showing it. Does that mean that showing it is not as strong? No, it really does not mean that. So, I read the scene where Blackjack gets raped. A lot of people were telling me, oh, you should skip it. It's not important. I disagree. I disagree wholeheartedly that it's important. Because there are some themes in that part that I actually do like, and it's kind of a hard part for me to talk about because my heart is kind of hurting a little bit. Because I feel horrible for Blackjack. Like, terrible for Blackjack that she had to go through an instance like this. Because it's really a hard scene for me to talk about because I can relate to it. I know you're about to say, how can I relate to it? That's a very personal subject, and I'd rather not get into it, guys. But let me tell you that I can relate. So when they showed Blackjack, when they basically showed us Blackjack getting raped, I didn't know what to expect. When people were telling me Blackjack gets raped, I'm like, why? Like, is there a reason for it? And nobody really explained. So I was kind of waiting for, like, this half-baked idea. But I understand why it happened. The situation was perfect. Basically what happens is that after she wakes up from a memory orb, the boat that she's on got attacked. And unfortunately, the ponies that were on the boat were losing badly. The only ponies who were on the boat that were Blackjack's friends was, of course, Scotch Tape and herself. And the problem is that she had a very, very bad feeling that if they found Scotch Tape in her, they would kill her and take Scotch Tape. So she had to find a way to protect her. So she told Scotch Tape to hide, don't come out for anything. Do not come out for anything. And she did exactly what she was supposed to while Blackjack tried to hold them off as best she could. At this point, Blackjack does not have her eyes. Like, both her eyes have been taken away. And her hooves are just nothing at this point. Because they're like, I don't know, like wavely like this. Like, they're like that. They like have no bones or anything like that. So she can't use them. After she wastes all the ammo in her gun, she pretty much gets pinned down, and they're about to kill her. And of course, she knows they're going to start looking around for supplies and survivors. So Blackjack does the only thing she can do. She coaxes them. Basically by saying, oh yeah, you're doing me a favor. Go ahead and kill me. That gave them the fuel that they needed to basically go at her instead of look around. And I'm not going to lie, this scene was f***ed. I mean, this scene was f***ed beyond belief. There's no denying that factor. They nailed her hooves to a box, and they nailed her hooves to the freaking floor itself. And they raped her over and over and over again. And they even explained it in full detail where she was raped in the mouth and her, You know, like, it, oh my god, the detail they went into was just, Like, and she even said it. Like, she kept saying it. Like, she did not care. As long as they didn't find Scotch tape, she can endure this. All Blackjack was doing was, you know, like, stalling for time. She wanted to stall for as much time as possible so her friends can get back. Because if her friends don't get back in time, she could be killed, Scotch could be found, and pretty much all she did was for nothing. And holy crap, does this scene keep going on and on. Like, it doesn't last long, luckily, this scene. But at one point they get tired of her and they're about to just kill her and look around. Blackjack tries to fend them off, and of course they take off her horn and they're about to kill her. That's when her friends finally come in and save her, which I'm like, good timing. Like, finally. Like, considering how badly she got, it was horrible. Like, I didn't want to. But what shocked me is the fact that she let them go. When I heard her say, let them go, I had the same reaction as P21 and Lakunai. I was like, what? Like, what? Why? Why? Why do you want to let these ponies go? Why? What if there was the pony that you gelded in one chapter, and you're letting them go? After they just brutally raped you, you're letting them go. That's why I was like, why? Even P21 was, like, baffled at this idea. And she just decided, I'm not doing it. Like, she just said, like, straight up, like, we need to do better. We need to become better and stuff like that. Like, she believes that these ponies can become better. So she let them go. I was like, oh my god, Blackjack, I don't know what you're thinking, but... I mean, she even admits it in a later chapter, like, she don't know if this was a good idea or a mistake. But she said it. Why is she going to kill them at this point? Killing them is not going to bring her further away from death. All she could do and hope for is that when she lets them go, they change their ways. Because the next pony might not be as merciful as her. And they had the opportunity to kill them. So it's not like they didn't have the chance. They could have, and Blackjack let them go. And what makes this scene work in many cases, this happening to Blackjack, is that it actually allows her to relate to P21 now. Because Stable 99, the males were like on a breeding queue. It was almost like rape in many cases. And now Blackjack understood. Like, she was at P21's level of understanding of what he went through. I was just like, yeah, I could see this now. Like, P21 and Blackjack now have a mutual understanding. And think about it. P21, like, at one point, like, you know, P21's basically been raped his entire life in Stable 99. So now for Blackjack to go through the instance, she now fully understands P21's grief, anger, and annoyance. I mean, I won't lie, like, I really feel like this scene should have been toned down a bit. I won't lie. I'm pretty sure if Dr. Wolf was to read this, he would probably be on the level of, like, you know, like, of that's too far. He would probably be on the level of that's too far. And I'm sorry to say, but yeah, I think they did go a little bit too far. Do I think that it was a bad inclusion in the story? No. I think it was perfect. Because it allowed her to finally reach the same level of understanding to P21. And it does allow you to skip it. In the Google Docs file, there is an option to skip the rape scene. But I'm going to say this right now, guys. I wouldn't recommend it unless you don't think you can handle it. This scene is integral. Same way how the the side story chapter, chapter 20.5, written by someone else but approved by KCAT, is actually an integral part of the story as well. So yeah, I think this rape scene that happens to Blackjack is integral to the story. Same way how the 20.5 chapter is integral to the main story. These kind of instances, I can understand it working in some cases, and I can understand it not working in others. Me, I feel like this scene works. Do I wish they toned it down a bit, Somber? Do I wish Somber toned it down a little bit? Yeah, and he even said at the beginning that he thought about taking away this scene and not putting it in there to begin with. But he was told by others that he should leave it in there, and I agree. I think this is an integral part of the story, and it definitely adds on to the amount of ideas that go on throughout the rest of this story. So I don't know what to say at this point. I think this was like a really hard thing to read. And when I finally got to it, I was like, this is not going to affect me that badly, is it? And it has. This is why I had to make the video. Like, I feel like this scene is hard. Like, this is a hard scene to read. And I'm glad the next chapter, Birthday, is a little bit more lighthearted in many cases. Because I'm glad the next chapter, Birthday, is a little bit more lighthearted. Because after a dark chapter like this, especially the ending of this chapter, which I will not spoil, I'm glad we got, you know, something lighthearted in chapter 34, Birthday, because I think we needed it at this point. After something that grim and dark, we needed something a little bit more wholesome, if that's the best word. Not really much I need to say on this subject. I think I've said everything I need to. I mean, I said what I needed to. After reading that chapter, I definitely recommend Project Horizons, because I definitely recommend Project Horizons as a read, but get ready, because it's a long read. I'm on chapter 35, and I still got to get to 69. This thing's over 1 million words, so I would watch yourself while getting into this. So, if I run into more chapters I want to talk about, or any scenes in Project Horizons I want to talk about, I'll get into it. But otherwise, I think this will be one of the few videos of Project Horizons I do a full-blown video on. So guys, till next time, I'm Keen47, aka Wolfkeen. Hope you enjoyed, and until next time, guys, take care.